Hello, I'm Lelda Smits for Australia's Finance News Network, and joining me from US Sprott Holdings is its chairman, Rick Rule. Rick, welcome to Minds of Money here in London.
Thank you very much.
You've just given a presentation on global mining and investment opportunities. So for those who weren't there, what's the next hot opportunity?
The nature of mining markets is that they're extremely cyclical. You go through these ugly down cycles, and investors need to remember that bear markets are the authors of bull markets. My message was simply, you've been here through the pain, why not stick around for the gain? The truth is, finding decent companies that have the ability to survive and then thrive for the next 2 or 3 years is all you have to do in this market. This is actually a very, very, very simple market, despite the fact that it seems very bleak.
Moving to the price of gold, it has plunged about 30% this year, now sitting at about $1,250 an ounce. How do you explain such a steep drop, and what's next from here?
Cyclical declines in secular bull markets are both normal and natural. They're inconvenient for people who don't have the cash or the courage to stay with the trade, but they're extraordinary opportunities, and they're absolutely normal and natural parts of a bull market.
Now, Rick, when I spoke with Eric Sprott earlier this year in Hong Kong, he said silver was in fact the investment of the decade. Would you agree?
I wouldn't. Keeping in mind that I work at a place called Sprott, and he doesn't work at a place called Rule, I personally am more attracted to platinum and palladium. I think that platinum and palladium have all of the attributes of precious metals, but they have much, much, much simpler supply-side theses. With gold and silver, most of the gold and silver that have ever been mined are in investment inventories. With platinum and palladium, the above-ground inventories are less than 1 year's fabrication demand. So from my own viewpoint, I think that the supply crunch comes sooner in platinum and palladium than in gold or silver.
Over to equities. More folks are talking of a bubble on Wall Street with US stocks hitting all-time highs. What's your view?
We're not on a bubble in Wall Street except in the context of the yield. The US Federal Reserve has artificially depressed the interest rate. If the market takes control of the interest rate, these stocks are going to get creamed.
Speculation on when the US Federal Reserve will start to cut back stimulating its economy continues to remain in the spotlight. When do you think we may start to see some tapering occur?
If you think of taper, really, you have to think of a different word, counterfeit. What tapering is the US government buying paper that they couldn't sell to other unwitting schmucks. We have in the United States about between 25 and 30% of our on-balance sheet deficit is unmet by on-market borrowing. We have to print the rest of that. And until we control our spending, which hasn't happened in my lifetime, I don't think tapering can end.
Now, Rick, in Australia, the mining sector does dominate, and you've been quoted as saying now is a once-in-a-decade opportunity to stock up on the best junior miners. Who are your hot tips?
Well, I wouldn't want to give too many names, although you can see us in the registers. But here's my tip. About once every 10 years, Australians en masse go on strike. They walk out of the mining sector in terror. And when that happens, even an old slow guy like me can come in the market and make a lot of money.
Finally, Rick, on the eve of a new year, where do you think investors will get the most bang for their buck in 2014?
You mentioned investors, and if I could by extension say speculators. For seasoned speculators, I think the higher quality juniors, if the speculator is prepared to stay the course for 2 or 3 years, will yield spectacular gains. The nature of the business through a decade is that when you go over the edge into a bear market, your portfolio falls by half or 75% in some cases. Coming back out the other side, and day always follows night, those same portfolios are up 500% or 1,000%. Having lived through the pain, why not stay for the gain?
Rick Rule, thank you for the outlook here at Minds of Money in London.
Pleasure. Thank you.